than people have told us.
It's in God's hands, baby.
That was probably it, right? Well, that was not it. You can't say that word. Yeah, don't do that. None of that. Don't tell us any of that. It's not helpful whatsoever. Hey guys, welcome back to Talk with Tosh B. Today we are going to be having a conversation that I've been wanting to talk about for a while. Kind of one of the reasons I wanted to start this channel, to kind of just document my journey. Like I said before in some of my other videos, me and Kobe were just navigating life in our late 20s, just trying to figure it all out. So this is one of those things that I wanted to talk about, and I kind of just wanted to bring awareness to as well. So some people know, some people do not know, but Kobe and I are on a fertility journey. We have been trying for over a year now, and we have been diagnosed with unexplained infertility. That is a real diagnosis that did come from a doctor. It's not something that you see. You see people talking about unexplained infertility and like, what is that? But it is an actual thing. I have been tested for all the regular tests that they test you for to see if there's any hormonal imbalances or ovarian issues going on, and I don't have any, thank God. Kobe has had a semen analysis and everything is good on his end as well. So if you are trying for a baby and it has been a year and you have been having timed intercourse, you're just doing all the things right, you're actually doing it correctly the way you should be, around your fertile window and around when you're getting ready to ovulate, then you should become pregnant within a year. So some of you may know, but we started trying last July. We did conceive in about 4 months, which was November. And then 8 weeks later, we did have a natural miscarriage, on Christmas Eve last year. It was really, really sad. Not really going to go into that. That isn't what this video is about. But so we did fall pregnant within the year time frame that they give you. But unfortunately, it was not a viable pregnancy, and we did lose that pregnancy. Once I was feeling better, we did start to try again. So I would say about January, that was when my period returned and things came back to normal, and we started trying again. So it is July. It has not worked yet. So that's what led me for us to do a fertility workup, like I mentioned before. So let's talk about what trying looks like. Like, what do we actually do? So we have these lovely things right here. This is an ovulation test. LH stands for luteinizing hormones. When you are getting ready to ovulate, your luteinizing hormones like raises in your body, and that's what triggers your ovulation. What this is a lovely cheapy pregnancy test off of Amazon. And I'm sorry, but you do hear my dryer in the background because I am washing clothes and trying to get all this done at the same time because it is a Monday night. But this is a pregnancy test, and I go through a lot of these and a lot of these. Some people may wonder why you go through a lot of pregnancy tests. So you can get a positive pregnancy test about 8 days past ovulation. Some people might be able to get a little bit earlier, but for the most part, you get it 8 days or moving on past ovulation. Why that's important is for a viable pregnancy, especially for me. When I conceive again, I want to. Those are my dog feet in the background. When I conceive again, I want to immediately go to the doctor to get my blood test taken so that I can confirm that the pregnancy is, actually there and that it's progressing well, and get on progesterone if I need to get on it. Progesterone helps supplement a pregnancy to make sure that you don't shed your uterine lining. So that's why a lot of people test early so that we can just go ahead and know what's going on. As far as the ovulation tests, you start taking ovulation. Some people, I start taking them about cycle day 12 because you never know when you're actually going to ovulate. Um, for the most part, everyone is, well, for the most part, your body is on a schedule. So, like, I ovulate cycle day 16, and I had been religiously. But last cycle, I actually ovulated cycle day 18. I don't know what threw it off. We went on vacation. I don't know if just a change in what I regularly did, but I actually ovulated late. And I wouldn't have known that. And why it's important to know that is so that you can baby dance or have sex. In the fertility world, we call baby dance call sex baby dancing. So you want to be able to baby dance on the appropriate days. Once you get a positive LH strip, you are probably, if you're going to ovulate, you're probably going to ovulate within 12 to 24 hours after that. And I will show you what my LH strips, how I chart them in this app called Premom, and I'll post a picture of that right here. So the last thing that I do in this journey, like physically, is taking my basal body temperature. This is a contraption called a temp drop. There is a website where you can order them from. Basal body temperature is your temperature when you first wake up after you've been sleeping at least 3 hours. It is not a regular temperature. You do have to get a special thermometer for it. Maybe not this, because this is about $150, but they do make basal body temperature thermometers that you can get. And what you do is you chart that. I will post my chart here. When you chart, you are going to get a dip on your ovulation day. And after you ovulate, your temperature rises. This is a steady rise. And then it drops back down when your period starts again. It's literally like just the W during your cycle for that 28 to 30 or however long your cycle is. So when I'm charting, I am able to see, okay, I ovulated. I know what day I ovulated. And I can know that my temperature is rising, which shows that I can confirm ovulation. If it stays high, then you're probably pregnant. But if it starts to gradually come back down, that probably means that your period is getting ready to start. So these are all the things that I do. We both take a shitload of vitamins to just kind of supplement our health. That's very, very important. You're going to have to do it when you're pregnant anyway. Well, might as well go ahead and start doing it now. So we do that. But something that's important for us to remember on this journey is that it really is the long game. It's been a year. We have been together almost 8 years and married almost 4 years now, and we hit those milestones. We graduated college, we got married, we moved across the state, we bought a house, we got dogs, we got motorcycles, we got cars, and now it's just like that little piece of what's next is missing for us. Which is fine, it's going to come in time. But we see, the people around us and all of these, they're having kids, and it's just, like our loins are aching. We just want something else to take care of and to yell at besides these dogs. So it's definitely time, and it's been hard. I was going to have Kobe feature on this video to kind of talk about it from the male perspective, but there's nothing to talk about. I mean, the male's perspective is that it's hard as well. He has to watch me constantly go through the rigmarole of, having a friend get pregnant, having a sister get pregnant, and just remembering that, we had a loss. And so he has to deal with that just as much as I have to deal with that as well. He didn't have to deal with it physically, but he's definitely along the emotional journey, the roller coaster that I'm going down. And it's been very, very tough. And also, him keeping me sane and just keeping me level headed. And, a lot of people say it happened when it happened. And It will, but it definitely doesn't help because you have to understand if we have gotten to the point where we're trying to conceive and you're telling me to relax when I take my mind off of it to happen. Believe me, if I wanted to relax, if I could relax, I would relax. I do not want to think about this every step of every day. But it's definitely hard when you see everyone in your life around you, having something that you're unable to achieve. And anybody that knows me knows that there's not a lot that I can't do. So the fact that I'm not able to figure this out to make this work, it's been very, very hard and it's taken a toll on my mental health. It's not something that I ever thought that I would suffer from. I didn't even know anyone personally who had suffered from infertility until I got to college and joined my sorority. So that was later in college and met women that had, been affected or is affected by infertility. So it's definitely been like a journey this past year, learning all of these things, learning about taking my temperature and about LH and all of that, actually working with my doctor, finding a doctor who actually wanted to listen because that's hard as well, you know, just hitting all the stops. And I have had people say, well, why are you doing all of that? It just happened when it happens. And that's true. But it could also not happen when it doesn't happen. Because if it happened as easily as, people make it out to seem, then there wouldn't be infertility, right? There wouldn't be people that need IVF or IUI or need to adopt. So that's kind of where we are on this journey. So I have taken my first round of Clomid. We have started fertility treatment as of today. I am on my first round of Clomid. My first pill was taken tonight. I am on a 50 milligram dose of Clomid. So what Clomid does is basically just hyperovulate you, right? So you release eggs naturally. Like I went to the doctor I think last month or the month before, and I had two follicles. They saw two follicles, and neither one of them were mature. Neither one of them were over 17 millimeters, and that's what they want to see to show that you're going to ovulate a mature follicle. So what Clomid does is basically like just balls to the wall, hyperovulate you, give you a crap ton of follicles to give you a better chance of one of them actually taking. So there's a very good chance that this Clomid could work. We are going to see. It could not. There could be other hormonal imbalances going on, but we're definitely keeping the faith because that's all you can do is really just keep the faith. Is honestly faith and probability and hope and faith. Keeping faith that is going to work eventually. So we have just started fertility medication. There won't be too many steps after this, because another thing with infertility that I don't just not talked about enough because I damn sure didn't know is that it is expensive. Like we all know IVF is expensive, right? And we all know adoption is expensive. But even the medications, the ultrasounds, the just everything, the tests to run, all of that, the semen analysis, they're all so expensive. So I'm this close from being like we're about to take Clomid. I think we'll do a couple of cycles of Clomid to see if it works. And then I need an HSG. And what an HSG is it sees if your tubes are open to be able to even, I keep wanting to say fertilize. Copy, what is the word?
To get your eggs to drop.
When the egg and the sperm go in the tube?
Yeah, it's fertilized.
It's not fertilize. An HSG make sure your tubes are open so that everything can actually get up in there and work. And that is my next step in this journey. Well, that's my last step in this journey before we kind of just do gotta take a break and chill and relax and hope it happens because everything is so expensive. So that's where we are. But if you're dealing with anybody on an infertility journey, I'm not saying be sensitive to their feelings. Well, you should be sensitive to people's feelings anyway, right? But just kind of remember that everyone's journey is different. Everyone's roads are different. Yes, we're still young. Yes, we got all the time in the world to have a baby. But we want it now, and that's okay. It's okay that I'm taking all of these extra measures. And yeah, it seems like a lot, but like I said, everything could be fine and it could just be timing, or something could be wrong. And now I'm taking the appropriate steps to make sure that we're setting ourselves up for success when it is time to take a medical intervention route. Um, Side note, I would like to say that we are not opposed to adoption, because I know a lot of times during this journey, people are like, oh, why are they going through all of that, spending all of that money? They can just adopt. Adoption is not a fix for infertility, and it should never be. How would you feel if something happened to you, one of your kids, and somebody said, oh, you can just go have another one? It's not a fix. It's not a fix. Do not diminish people's feelings, because you're trying to be helpful when you don't realize that it's hurtful. You don't uh, Getting a baby, buying a baby, adopting a baby is not a fix for one that you cannot have. You're not able to start that family with your spouse that you want to start. So just remember that adoption is not a fix. However, we are not opposed to adoption. We're many, many years away from that. It's just we have so long before that's a conversation, but we're not opposed to adoption. We're not necessarily opposed to IVF, but it's just so long away. But I just wanted to make that quick note that, infertility is not cheap. It's a very expensive process on all parts. IVF isn't cheap, and adoption isn't cheap either. There's nothing going to be cheaper than just making it the regular, old-fashioned, old regular way. So just remember that when you're, making comments about adoption and things of that nature, that it's not always as easy as it looks. So that's where we are. If you have any questions whatsoever, please do not hesitate to comment. I am going to eventually post a video about how to read a chart if you're interested in that. Any of my friends, anybody who is trying to conceive and other people don't know, or you just want more information on about what I am doing, these are all scientific things. This is not just some woo-woo stuff that we in the fertility world have came up with. So if you have questions about your basal body temperature or LH or how to chart or what a chart means after you take a glance at mine, please let me know. And again, I'm going to do a video on how to read a chart because it's very helpful. And I think I said this earlier in this video. It helped you hear my dog in the background. He's trying to put his face in the camera. It helped my doctor actually take me seriously when I walked in and said, no, ma'am, I chart, I take this, I do this, I do that. We're already doing all of that. She was like, oh, you know what you're talking about. Okay, let's just go ahead and get you tested. Because if not, some doctors try to send you home and just say, go have more sex. But if you're doing all of this and you're taking that time and it's still not working, something could be off. And it may not be a whole thing. You may not have to get IVF. It could just be that you need a little bit extra help ovulating, or you need a little bit more hormones and progesterone. But it's important that you know what's going on with your body, especially on this journey, because if you don't advocate for yourself, nobody else is going to do it. Women's health is not taken seriously enough, and I have many friends and myself to attest to that. So, again, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, please comment down below.